Hello everybody, welcome back to Wixo Co-op on the Atlantic Union channel. I'm Batavia Art History. I will be doing episode 6. Yeah, let's get right into it. So we're gonna be starting here over in like the southern French, yeah, it's in the southern French region over here. Here with the maroon team and the blue team. And the last episode, Bosnia made it so uh, that the maroon team and the blue team they have a little alliance going on. I would like to add to that the blue team didn't really have a choice here. Also, the maroon team bought some land for them, but I would like to add to that the maroon team is way stronger than the blue team, so they kind of forced the blue team to do this. It wasn't a voluntary choice by them. And the maroon team they have slowly been influencing the politics of the blue team. And that's gonna culminate in something. So they tell the blue team that they need to go and invade this little guy over here. This, I don't even know what color that is. Um, Dark purple, I suppose, or dark pink. Yeah, they tell the blue team to invade this little guy. But the thing is, I guess monarch at this point of the blue team. He is a real big fan of this guy. The blue team and the dark pink team. They don't have any tension. In fact, their relations are pretty good with each other. So when the maroon team tells blue team to do it, they actually refuse. They don't want to. They don't really want to listen to the maroon team anymore. The maroon team has been like pretty much just telling the blue team what to do, but they don't want it anymore. So the king of the blue team, what happens is he dies. Shocking. I I I don't think the maroon team had anything to do with that. No shot that the maroon team had anything to do with that. No. But yeah, no, they definitely did. But the new leader of the blue team, he's pretty much just a figurehead. He has nothing to say, no real power. So the maroon team, they'll just march through the territory of the blue team, uh, and they're just gonna take this little guy for themselves. This once again really sours relations with the blue team, and it kind of shows who's truly the boss here. And to that effect, the maroon team, they're gonna go one step ahead of just an alliance. They're actually gonna be puppeting the blue team. Now you can see that the blue team, they have a little outline of the maroon team around their land, signaling that they are a puppet state. Now it's a little bit difficult to see with the river layer, but if I turn it off, you can see that there's also a little line over here, right on this river, that I do not know the name of. That's because the blue team is actually going to be annexing this little piece of land, just to make sure that the blue team doesn't do anything funny with the Swiss country over here. And speaking of the Swiss country, they are actually our next thing, because in the previous episode, this Swiss country they have taken over this. Yeah, they've taken over Geneva once again. If you go to the river layer, you see that this is in fact Geneva. It's on the lake, which was the former colony. Oh, which was the former colony of the red team, and they've also taken over the little green guy right here. Now this was like a move to kind of unite the Swiss countries against the maroon team, but it hasn't really worked. The maroon team, they see what's going on here, and uh, they're just gonna invade, which is gonna mark the first Maroon Swiss War. In fact, they're gonna just invade straight into it. They're gonna immediately take the capital and this river, and yeah, that's a pretty quick war. Well, again, no, they're not gonna occupy all of Switzerland, of course not. But the Maroon team, they just surrender after losing their main city. So let's go take a look at the peace treaty. Okay, so taking a look at this peace treaty, first of all, see both Geneva and the Green Team get revived, and they both annex their little pieces of land. So Geneva gets to have this, and the Green Team gets to have this little area down south. Also, the Maroon Team, they annex this piece of land, this piece of land, yeah, and this piece of land, this little like light seafoam green, not really seafoam, but this guy, they get their independence, and then finally, the remainder of the from Brown country, they are split up. And also, the border actually runs in the middle of this city, so they both have one half of the city, so that's quite interesting. This seemingly puts the Maroon team as the victor in the conflict between them and the Swiss guys, but maybe not. We'll see that in soon. But for now, we're gonna head over to. So firstly, what do I want to do with this? So we see the Dutch countries. This like lavender-ish country. They have recently been launching raids into the along the along the Rhine and the Maas rivers into the main Hollander Flemish country. I don't know. I don't really know what this is. So they're gonna go to the other green guy and do this banana-ish guy. They say, hey, do you guys want free land? And they're like, sure. So they all form a coalition against the lavender country. We see the this guy push in, and then the North Holland country. They're also they're just gonna take the coast. Oh, not that. And the banana country. I'm being honest. I just wanted to connect them up with this little dot right here. But yeah, they're gonna be really successful. Actually, they're gonna take most of this country. They really are not to be messed with. But yeah, there's just this pixel left. Giving it to this guy. And yeah, they're just gonna carve up this entire country. So they get that, and the banana country, they get that. So the Gulch country, they're gonna take most of it, and then they're also thinking of expanding up here into Frisia. So they're gonna do exactly that. They're gonna cross the river, and they're starting to go up north here. But not that quickly, because the North Holland country, they're also interested in this region to controlling the Zuiderzee. So they're gonna establish a little colony here in Frisia. Meanwhile, the banana country, they're gonna be taking they're gonna be taking all of this, and also starting to consolidate their like control over the Rhine and the IJssel, over these big rivers. Yeah, this kind of even makes them almost stronger than this country, which I don't even know what to call them at this point. But yeah, they are now strong enough to establish their own little city, which they will do right here. Also, these islands, this one belongs to Banana Country, this one belongs to North Holland. But then we're going over to this North French, I believe English called it Normandy, or maybe that was Bosnia, I don't know. Anyways, they know about Jersey. They're what's the and they're also going to be exploring more of the Channel Islands. So now they know about Guernsey. I know Alderney is right, it's like supposed to be here. But it's not really on the map, so I guess I just put it there. And then there's also um, Sark is right there. But yeah, now they know about these islands, and they're gonna make a little attempt to settle them, if I can get the right layer. So now they establish a little settlement on Jersey, and they do the same on Guernsey. So now they're both settled. And also, of course, these other two islands, but I'm not able to map that. Don't care. Also, they know now about that Dovers right here. They can see across the channel. So they will make an effort to explore this land, make a little, just kind of see what's going on. And I can't stand those alone pixels. And they will also make the effort to establish a small settlement along this coast here in Dover. Now we're going over to Italy, where we will finally be seeing that that these guys, the Tiber country and the other ones, they're gonna explore so far down south that they'll eventually meet up with the Sicilians. Sicily will also start to explore upwards, and they finally connect for once. This is a pretty big milestone. The Tiber country, they finally know what happened to Sicily. And well, of course, they came from the Tiber country, I think. I think they came from Tiber. They might have come from the Orange Tea. I don't know. Actually, let me look it up real quick. Uh, okay, so they did come from the Orange country. They do really step aside with the Orange country. They now know each other exists. There are talks of reuniting the two, which are shockingly serious. But of course, it's not gonna happen. They're too distinct now, and also Sicily also tells them about Africa existing and these little guys here. And actually, this orange team, they don't really have a coast, so they now know from because of the Sicilians that there's like a pretty big empty space here. So this is pretty interesting. What the pink team will do, like a vast majority of their people, they're just gonna like mass move. Sicily helps them with this. They ask Sicily for help. Sicily grants that to them because Sicily is a country. We all love Sicily. But yeah, they will now go and settle over here in the southern, this little region of Italy, and they will give their homeland to the Green Country. And keep in mind, there aren't really people that stay behind. Only like I think of the probably I think a little bit over 1,000 people that were of the Pink Country. I think like only 20 stayed, and they just joined up with the Green team. But yeah, so that's a pretty unique development. Also, going over to Albania, I won't lie, I despise this country. So, yeah, there's going to be a really big crisis in the country that the government is able to solve because they're really split on it. So this country, they will just split in half just because I despise them. That's the only reason. There's no reason for this to happen other than I despise this country. Yeah, they're just gonna straight up split in two. And this northern country, they don't really care about the nomadic stuff anymore. They really couldn't care less. Uh, the southern country, they still want to, but it's kind of more difficult now because you have a place to go. Um, also this island over here, they're gonna become independent because they also want their little freedom. Yeah, it's better. And as for this island, this has been bothering me for a little bit. We're just gonna see a really light blue country or not or a light pink country pop up on this island. Um, there's probably a lore for it. Like people from one of these Greek countries, they went here. If I don't know, you can make up your own lore. I don't really care. But the main thing is civilization just really popping off at this point. Because no, the word of civilization, there are tribes in the world. The word of civilization that spreads to them, and the first like new group we're gonna see pop up is gonna be a little Anatolian group over here in along this river. There's gonna be a dark green team over here in Abkhazia. I will be marking them as explored, of course, but no, they don't know about the rest of the world. Okay, now there's a new little civilization over here. There's one here in Anatolia. Also the Egyptian civilization, word of that spreads into the Levant. So color of yeah, it's gonna spread here into Lebanon from the Egyptian civilization. Oh wait, of course I need to fill it in. But now actually they do know where Egypt is located, so they do send a few people down to Egypt to like let them know that hey, we're here. Egypt doesn't really care, but now they do know that they exist. And I will do a quick little montage of a bunch of new civilizations popping up. There's going to be one here over here in Portugal. There's actually going to be two over here in the Western Sahara. There's going to be a pretty big one over here in Ethiopia and Somaliland. And there's going to be a few ones over here in Cyrenasia. There's going to be two major ones over here in Iran. There's going to be one over here at the mouth of the Volga River. There's going to be civilization over here in Ingria. And then finally there's going to be 4 civilizations, including one really big one, over here in Yunnan in southern China. Which is going to be like the final one of the new civilizations we're going to see today. But expect a lot more of this over the coming episodes. Going back over here to Italy, we're gonna see the rest of the peninsula, except for this little area. We're gonna see it be divided up. So starting with Tiber, they will make the largest gain over here, and they will get this. Then we're gonna Then the Lime team, they will be taking all of this. Now remember, this isn't really the same age anymore. When in the beginning of the series, we were like in the age of so like the Bronze Age, or even like probably even before that, like smaller settlements. But now we're in the age which is like roughly Alexander the Great, that type of time frame. So there are like proper kingdoms and cities and countries and kingdoms and all of that. So we're also gonna see capitals and that kind of things be invented pretty soon. And I just wanted to say that real quick. Yeah, but then over here in Italy, where the pink team has been booming recently because of their new migration. They're going to be taking a little bit of this, but a lot will also be going to the Sicilians. Um, Intentionally, oh, Sicily's gonna leave all of this land unclaimed. Um, the countries they've agreed to let this area be unclaimed so that the pink team they can take it over later, because they like all of these countries like Sicily and especially Tiber, also the pink team themselves, they're like really kind. They don't want a war. They're not really a big fan of that. They're really into peace and cooperation. No, the lime and the orange teams, they are not really as much as these guys are, but still a little bit. But the Italian countries, they agreed to leave this land alone for now, so that the pink team can take it later once they are strong enough. Now, for the second to last event of this episode, we're going to be seeing a war between Corsica and Sardinia. Sardinia, they want to liberate their island from Corsica. Sardinia is a bit of they really think they're all that, so to say. So they're gonna occupy this little port, and they're also gonna be invading into this little upper land of Corsica. But Corsica, they might be weaker compared to other countries, but they are definitely not to be messed with. They're gonna immediately kick this invasion, and then they will be launched their own counter invasion of Sardinia. And they will also be liberating the port over here. Now, at this point, Sardinia, they don't surrender yet. Oh, that's not what I want. That's not what I... So, Corsica really has to take it all out just to win the war. And in this peace treaty, we're gonna see that Corsica takes over the northern strip of Sardinia to connect the two little ports, and the Sardinian Union is forced to split up. But don't be mistaken, Sicily and Corsica, they will definitely be going to war again in the future. Just not now. This was only the first war. Then Corsica will also finally explore all of this. So now they can sail their boat straight to the red team. And now we're gonna be. I said this was the second to last. This is really gonna be the second to last. Because the red team, they have been really falling, obviously. Their power is severely declining, and a certain neighbor of them is. The red team has been declining recently, and a certain neighbor is noticing that, so they're going to be taking big advantage. The the maroon team is going to invade. They're immediately going to take this city, which used to belong to the green team a really long time ago. Then they're immediately gonna wait. Actually, yeah, they're gonna go to the coast to split these guys off. With both trade routes, they will travel down it and take this city. But then the red team comes. They're trying counteroffensive. It is successful in liberating the city, but the Maroons, they're really not to be messed with. They take all of this and they push the red team to this river. Now, at this point, the red team is going to surrender. They really don't feel like continuing this war anymore. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. And in this peace treaty, we see that the Maroon team, they straight up annex all of that. The red team is a puppet, but I can't be asked to draw that. The red team is a puppet, but I can't be asked to draw that. I'll draw it in later, and it'll just appear next episode. But yeah, that's the moment. Yeah, but a certain group of countries to the north, they are noticing something. The Maroon team is getting pretty strong, and it's probably very likely that the Maroon team will just gobble up all of these countries very soon. Soon. The Blue team at this point is the strongest country in the world. In fact, they're so strong they're just gonna annex the Blue team. Don't worry, the Blue team they will be back one episode. Don't worry about that. But yeah, that just goes to show how strong these guys are. In fact, they're also gonna annex this little guy, just because of how strong they are. Now, once again, they will be back soon. Don't worry about that. But this just goes to show how strong the Moon team is. In fact, these areas, of course, no, they are different peoples, but they are stable under the Maroon Empire. They are able to exert influence over that. But there's one country that is starting to oppose that, and that is the Green country here. Now, they might sound a little bit silly because the Green country, they only got independence this episode, and even before they joined this country, they were still insanely weak. But the old ruler of this country, who has ruled since the Union fell apart, he has just died, and his heir is now the new king of this little Swiss country. I don't know where this is. Just this Alpine country, and he is meeting with a bunch of these other countries in the area. He wants to lead a coalition against the Maroon team. Now, many of these countries they're kind of skeptical. I mean, the Maroon team just beat them in a war, but especially the ruler of this light bluish country, he calls him out for being a bit of a airhead, leave the Green team, because you know you're never gonna win that war. But then the new king of the Green team is gonna show strength by oh, that's not what I wanted. He's gonna show his strength by um, taking this land from the Blue team and forcing them into subjugation. Now this guy, if you can tell already, he's big brain. He knows what he's doing. The Blue team is gonna see the success and the attempts of war with them, by the Green team or whatever you want to call it. I'm stupid. I can't speak English today. But the Blue team, they're gonna like threaten the Green team. They're gonna take a little bit of the southern land, but the Green team is not playing around. They're gonna fight back and successfully so. And now at the end of this little border skirmish, if you want to call it that, the Green team comes out victorious. And after this, basically the entirety of the blue country of this southern country, they both pledge their allegiance to them. The Geneva country, they're also planning to pledge their allegiance to the new Green Empire, if you want to call that. But yeah, this is going to trigger a war between the Green team, the Green Alpine country, who is, by the way, whose leader is an absolute military genius. This guy is like, he's Alexander the Great, if you couldn't tell already. This is an analogy to the Macedonian Wars. And the Maroon team is like the Persian Empire here. But these two countries are now going to war. And that's where we're going to leave this episode. Next episode will be Laser Thesis episode. And that's going to be the beginning of the Great War of the Alps. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.